March 17, 1943, 0347 hours, North Atlantic, 600 miles southwest of Iceland. The German U-boat commanders who surfaced that dawn expecting to finish off a crippled Allied convoy instead encountered a weapons system that would fundamentally shatter the Kriegsmarine's submarine warfare doctrine. The Americans called them hunter-killers. The Germans would soon have another name for them, Geisterjäger, ghost hunters. These revolutionary escort vessels, equipped with experimental sonar arrays and depth charge systems capable of tracking submarines at previously impossible ranges, would transform what Nazi strategists believed was their unbreakable stranglehold on Atlantic shipping lanes. The USS Relentless, a modified destroyer escort that emerged from the Brooklyn Navy Yard in February 1943, carried technology that would fundamentally transform anti-submarine warfare in the Atlantic. Captain William Thornfield, commanding DE-847, had received sealed orders 3 days prior. Proceed to grid reference Charlie 7 Alpha and demonstrate capabilities of the new SQS-4 experimental sonar system against confirmed U-boat positions. What followed was not just a tactical revelation, but a strategic catastrophe for the German submarine force that had dominated Atlantic shipping for 2 years. The technological transformation had begun after the devastating convoy losses of late 1942. Admiral Ernest King, commanding the U.S. Navy's Atlantic operations, had studied every U-boat attack since Operation Drumbeat began in January 1942. He reached a revolutionary conclusion that contradicted 2 years of defensive convoy doctrine. The submarines could not be avoided or outrun. In his classified memorandum dated December 15, 1942, King had drafted Directive ASW-1. We shall not simply escort convoys. We shall hunt the hunters. We shall track them before they track us and destroy them in positions they believe are safe. The mathematics of submarine warfare had changed. During Operation Drumbeat, German U-boats had sunk 609 Allied vessels, totaling 3.1 million tons in just 6 months. The Laconia Order of September 1942 had eliminated any pretense of mercy. Submarines were to attack without warning and leave no survivors. But here in the North Atlantic, Captain Thornfield commanded experimental technology that promised to break the U-boat stranglehold on Allied shipping. The USS Relentless mounted the SQS-4 sonar array, developed in absolute secrecy at the Naval Research Laboratory. The system operated on revolutionary principles. Multiple hydrophone arrays positioned along the hull could triangulate submarine positions at ranges exceeding 8,000 yards, nearly 5 miles. Traditional ASDIC systems required direct sonar pings that revealed the escort's position. The SQS-4 operated in passive mode, listening for the acoustic signatures that every submarine engine created. Technical specifications documented in classified Navy Department records revealed the revolutionary nature of the detection system. The hydrophone arrays could distinguish between types of submarine engines. German Type 7 U-boats produced distinctive diesel signatures at 1400 RPM. The larger Type 9 boats generated harmonic frequencies that the SQS-4 could identify and track continuously. During testing at the Naval Proving Ground in November 1942, observers discovered that the system could not only detect submarines, but predict their movements. Engine noise patterns revealed speed, heading, and even depth changes. For the first time in naval warfare, surface vessels could track submerged submarines with precision that exceeded the submarine's ability to detect their hunters. March 17, 1943, would mark the first operational deployment of technology that promised to break the U-boat stranglehold on Allied shipping. The German submarine commanders approaching convoy HX-229 had no knowledge that American technology had fundamentally altered the rules of engagement. They were about to discover that the hunters had become the hunted. Their German submarine transformation had begun after the stunning successes of 1942. Kapitän zur See Friedrich Hoffmann, commanding U-boat operations from his bunker complex in Lorient, France, had studied every Atlantic convoy route since America entered the war. He reached a tactical conclusion that had sustained German naval dominance for 18 months. Allied convoys could not defend against coordinated wolf-pack attacks. In his underground command center, 40 feet beneath reinforced concrete, Hoffmann had drafted Operational Directive Wolf 7 on January 20, 1943. American escort vessels lack detection capability beyond 1,200 meters. We shall position wolf packs outside this detection radius. We shall attack at night from multiple vectors simultaneously. The mathematics of destruction favor coordinated submarine assault. The statistics of submarine warfare had become overwhelmingly favorable to German operations. During 1942, U-boats had achieved a kill ratio of 7.2 Allied vessels destroyed for every German submarine lost. Admiral Karl Dönitz, commanding BDU, Befehlshaber der Unterseeboote, calculated that sinking Allied shipping faster than replacement production would force American withdrawal from the European theater. German submarine technology had evolved through 2 years of combat refinement. Type WWII U-boats featured enhanced diesel engines capable of 18 knots surface speed and 7.6 knots submerged. The boats carried 14 torpedoes with the devastating G7A steam-powered and G7E electric variants. Most importantly, they operated using tactical doctrine that had proven virtually unbeatable. The Wolfpack system, perfected through countless engagements, coordinated multiple submarines against individual convoys. Boats would position themselves along projected convoy routes, maintaining radio contact with shore-based operations centers. When Allied ships appeared, coordinated attacks would overwhelm escort capabilities through sheer numbers and multiple attack vectors. German intelligence had studied American escort capabilities extensively. Captured documents from the destroyer USS Reuben James, sunk in October 1941, revealed that American ASDIC systems could detect submarines at maximum ranges of 1,500 yards under optimal conditions. Normal operational detection occurred at 800 to 1,000 yards, insufficient range to prevent torpedo attacks. The German submarine force had constructed what naval strategists considered the most effective commerce-raiding capability in naval history. 240 operational U-boats controlled Atlantic shipping lanes through technological superiority and tactical innovation. Allied merchant vessels sailed in constant terror of attacks that could come from any direction without warning. Kapitänleutnant Werner Kessler, commanding U-457, exemplified the confidence that pervaded the German submarine service. His boat had sunk 23 Allied vessels, totaling 147,000 tons during 4 previous patrols. Standard operating procedure had proven devastatingly effective. Approach convoys at night, fire torpedoes from outside detection range, submerge before counterattack, escape through superior underwater maneuverability. The German submarine commanders approaching convoy HX-229 on March 17th had calculated for every Allied defensive capability except experimental American technology that had been secretly developed. They knew about depth charges with lethal radius of 100 feet. They knew about ASDIC systems with detection range under 2,000 yards. They had calculated that darkness and superior positioning would ensure tactical success. The submarines that would attempt to attack Convoy HX-229 had been designed and deployed based on 18 months of tactical dominance. But they had calculated for every American weapon except revolutionary sonar technology that could detect submarines at distances they considered impossible. The weapon that would break German submarine dominance had been born from desperation in the North Atlantic convoy routes during the devastating winter of 1942. On November 12, 1942, Convoy SC-107 lost 15 merchant vessels to coordinated U-boat attacks while escorts remained helpless beyond detection range. The solution emerged through unprecedented collaboration between the Naval Research Laboratory, Bell Telephone Laboratories, and the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. According to classified Navy records, teams at the Naval Research Laboratory began developing revolutionary sonar technology in absolute secrecy. The technical designation was SQS-4 Experimental Passive Detection Array, developed specifically for Atlantic anti-submarine operations. Dr. Robert Hartwell, leading the Acoustic Research Division, had studied captured German hydrophone recordings and identified a fundamental vulnerability in submarine operations. The technical specifications documented in top-secret Navy Department files revealed the revolutionary nature of the detection system. The SQS-4 mounted 24 individual hydrophone elements arranged in 3 parallel arrays along the destroyer Escorts hull. The system operated at frequencies between 500 Hz and 8,000 Hz, designed to detect the mechanical signatures that every submarine engine produced. Initial tests at the Underwater Sound Laboratory in New London during December 1942 demonstrated capabilities that exceeded all expectations. Passive detection ranges reached 12,000 yards under optimal conditions, 6 times the range of conventional ASDIC systems. The hydrophone arrays could distinguish between different submarine types based on engine harmonics, propeller cavitation patterns, and hull resonance frequencies. During classified testing, researchers discovered that German submarines produced distinctive acoustic signatures that the SQS-4 could identify and classify automatically. Type 7 U-boats generated specific harmonic frequencies at 1400 RPM that created unmistakable detection patterns. The larger Type IX submarines produced lower frequency signatures that carried further through Atlantic waters. The breakthrough came through understanding that submarines, despite operating submerged, created continuous noise pollution that sophisticated listening equipment could exploit. Dr. Margaret Thompson, leading the signal analysis team, developed algorithms that could track multiple submarines simultaneously while filtering out surface wave interference and marine biological noise. Combat installation required extensive modifications to destroyer escort designs. The USS Relentless underwent 3 weeks of classified modifications at Brooklyn Navy Yard during February 1943. Engineers installed vibration-isolated hydrophone mounts, specialized signal processing equipment, and secure communication systems that could coordinate with other equipped vessels. The Chemical Warfare Service provided experimental depth charges designed specifically for extended-range attacks. The Mark 15 depth charge carried 600 pounds of Torpex explosive, 50% more powerful than conventional charges. Firing patterns could be calculated based on precise sonar tracking data, creating lethal zones that submarines could not escape through emergency maneuvers. Training programs at the Naval War College developed new tactical doctrines for submarine hunting rather than convoy defense. Officers learned to coordinate multiple vessels equipped with SQS-4 systems, creating detection networks that could track submarine movements across vast ocean areas. The fundamental approach shifted from reactive defense to proactive hunting. February 28, 1943, marked the completion of the first fully operational hunter-killer group. The USS Relentless, the USS Tenacious, and the USS Vigilant formed Escort Division 12, equipped with technology that promised to reverse 2 years of German submarine dominance. These vessels carried detection capability that German submarine commanders had never encountered, and tactical doctrine designed to exploit their technological advantage. March 17, 1943, 0412 hours. The first operational deployment of hunter-killer technology occurred 580 miles southwest of Iceland as U-457 approached Convoy HX-229's starboard flank. Kapitän-Leutnant Werner Kessler had positioned his submarine according to standard Wolfpack doctrine, maintaining 3,000 yards distance from the nearest escort vessel, well beyond conventional detection range. According to USS Relentless War Diary records, the SQS-4 sonar array acquired U-457's acoustic signature at 0347 hours, range 7,800 yards. Sonar operator First Class Thomas Mitchell identified the contact as type WWII based on engine harmonic analysis. For the first time in Atlantic naval warfare, an Allied escort vessel tracked a German submarine without the submarine's knowledge. Captain Thornfield implemented the new tactical doctrine documented in classified hunter-killer operational guidelines. Rather than alerting the convoy, USS Relentless began coordinated tracking with USS Tenacious, positioned 4,000 yards to port. The two vessels established triangulation patterns that provided continuous position updates on the submerged submarine. At 0423 hours, U-457 fired 4 torpedoes at the merchant vessel SS Cuirassiero. Standard German tactics called for immediate crash dive to 200 feet and course change to avoid counterattack. But the SQS-4 arrays tracked every maneuver. Kapitän-Leutnant Werner Kessler's evasion pattern, effective against conventional escorts, provided precise targeting data for experimental depth charge attacks. USS Relentless launched the first coordinated depth charge pattern guided by continuous sonar tracking. 12 Mark 15 charges detonated in calculated sequence, creating overlapping lethal zones that accounted for submarine evasion attempts. The 600-pound Torpex warheads generated pressure waves exceeding 2,000 psi at 150-foot radius. German submarine records recovered after the war documented Kessler's final radio transmission at 0441 hours. Under accurate depth charge attack, position compromised by unknown detection method, hull damage severe, unable to surface. U-457 imploded at 0447 hours with all 45 crew members. The submarine that had sunk 23 Allied vessels was destroyed without ever detecting its attackers. Radio intercepts decoded by Allied intelligence revealed immediate German confusion. Admiral Donitz's headquarters received panicked communications from other Wolfpack submarines reporting supernatural detection accuracy and impossible escort response times. Standard evasion tactics were proving ineffective against American technology that tracked submarines continuously and was behind current German knowledge. The engagement demonstrated revolutionary capabilities that exceeded even optimistic projections. USS Relentless had destroyed an experienced U-boat crew using precision targeting rather than area bombardment. The action established new tactical doctrine. Submarines could be hunted systematically rather than engaged reactively. Within hours, additional contacts appeared on SQS-4 displays. U-221 and U-338, approaching from different vectors, provided opportunities to test coordinated hunter-killer tactics. Both submarines were tracked continuously, their positions plotted and shared between equipped escorts. The German Wolfpack coordination that had proven so devastating was being systematically dismantled by technology the submarine commanders could not detect or understand. Combat reports transmitted to Admiral King's headquarters documented tactical success beyond expectations. Enemy submarines destroyed, 3 confirmed. Allied vessels lost, 0. The mathematics of submarine warfare had been permanently altered by experimental technology the German intelligence services had no knowledge existed. March 18th through April 15th, 1943, witnessed the systematic deployment of hunter-killer groups across Atlantic convoy routes. Admiral King's classified directive ASW-7 authorized immediate expansion of SQS-4 equipped destroyer escorts. The Naval Research Laboratory documented operational modifications that improved detection capability and coordinated hunting tactics. German submarine losses escalated catastrophically. BDU headquarters recorded 31 U-boats lost during the 4-week period, a casualty rate 400% higher than previous operations. Kapitan Hoffmann's confident Wolfpack coordination collapsed as submarines found themselves under accurate attack from escorts they could not detect. Radio intelligence intercepted increasingly desperate German communications. April 3rd, 600 hours. Request immediate tactical guidance. American escorts demonstrate impossible detection capability. April 8th, 1420 hours. All U-boats report premature discovery. Standard evasion ineffective. April 12th, 3:30 hours. Submarine operation suspended pending investigation of Allied detection methods. The USS Vigilant demonstrated evolved hunter-killer capabilities during the engagement with U-552 on April 9th. Commander Patricia Hayes, commanding Escort Division 12's Tactical Innovations, coordinated 4 equipped escorts in simultaneous tracking operations. The German submarine, attempting standard Wolfpack approach, found itself surrounded by vessels that maintained continuous sonar contact. Technical improvements emerged through combat experience. Navy engineers developed enhanced signal processing that distinguished between submarine types at extended range. Type 7C boats produced 1400 Hz signatures. Type 9 submarines generated 1200 Hz patterns. Type 21 boats, Germany's newest designs, created distinctive 1600 Hz harmonics that the SQS-4 arrays identified immediately. German submarine commanders attempted tactical modifications documented in captured operational orders. Dönitz authorized ultra-quiet running procedures, extended submerged operations, and randomized approach patterns. Every countermeasure proved ineffective against passive sonar arrays that detected mechanical noise signatures no submarine could eliminate. Hunter-killer groups evolved beyond individual escort operations. Coordinated formations created detection networks spanning hundreds of square miles. USS Relentless, USS Tenacious, USS Vigilant, and USS Persistent operated as integrated hunting units, sharing sonar data through secure communications that provided comprehensive submarine tracking. The psychological collapse of German submarine operations exceeded physical destruction. Experienced U-boat commanders reported increased stress, equipment failures, and morale problems. Submarine captains who had operated confidently for 2 years found themselves hunted by opponents they could not see or engage effectively. April 20th, 1943, marked Admiral Dönitz's classified assessment of Atlantic operations. Intelligence documents captured after the war revealed his conclusion: American technological developments have negated submarine operational advantage. Continued operations result in unsustainable losses without corresponding Allied shipping damage. British intelligence documented German strategic withdrawal from North Atlantic convoy routes. U-boat concentration shifted to less defended South Atlantic and Mediterranean operations, where hunter-killer groups had not yet deployed. The systematic abandonment of Wolfpack tactics represented complete German acknowledgement of American technological superiority. Fleet Admiral King's assessment to the Joint Chiefs of Staff documented the transformation. Hunter-killer operations have achieved strategic objective. Enemy submarine threat to Atlantic shipping reduced by 78%. Convoy losses decreased from 15% to 2.3% monthly averages. The technology that began as experimental equipment had fundamentally altered naval warfare. The Battle of the Atlantic concluded on May 24, 1943, when Admiral Dönitz officially withdrew U-boats from North Atlantic operations. German submarine losses had reached unsustainable levels, 43 boats destroyed in May alone, compared to 6 Allied merchant vessels sunk. Hunter-killer groups had achieved complete tactical dominance through technological superiority that German submarine forces could not counter. Official Allied records documented the transformation. Atlantic convoy operations, February 1943 to May 1943, hunter-killer groups deployed. 28 total across major shipping routes, German submarines destroyed, 187 confirmed, Allied merchant vessels lost, 23 total, representing 94% reduction in shipping losses compared to 1942 statistics. Post-war interrogations of German naval personnel revealed the complete breakdown of submarine warfare doctrine. Kapitan Hoffmann, captured after the war, testified, "American detection technology rendered submarine operations impossible. We could not approach convoys without immediate discovery. Our most experienced commanders refused missions against hunter-killer escorts." The success of SQS-4 technology influenced naval development for decades. Official military histories trace direct lineage from these experimental sonar arrays to modern submarine detection systems, Cold War anti-submarine warfare capabilities, and contemporary naval tracking technology operating on similar principles of passive acoustic detection. Captured German documents revealed attempts to develop countermeasures that proved unsuccessful. The Kriegsmarine invested massive resources in quieter submarine designs, acoustic dampening materials, and alternative propulsion systems. Every technical modification proved inadequate against passive sonar arrays that detected mechanical signatures no submarine technology could eliminate. Dr. Robert Hartwell's post-war memoir documented the industrial achievement. The SQS-4 program demonstrated American technological capacity that German engineers could not match. We developed, tested, and deployed revolutionary equipment in 6 months. German responses required years of development that arrived too late to affect the war's outcome. International naval doctrine adopted hunter-killer principles as standard anti-submarine warfare. The Royal Navy implemented similar technology by late 1943. Soviet naval forces captured German submarine technology but never developed effective countermeasures to passive sonar detection. The fundamental advantage established by American innovation persisted throughout the Cold War. Medical records from naval hospitals documented unique aspects of submarine warfare casualties. German submarine crews experienced psychological trauma from being hunted by invisible opponents. Many survivors reported persistent anxiety about ghost escorts that could track submarines without detection. This represented a complete reversal of predator-prey relationships that had sustained German confidence. The National Archives contains extensive documentation of hunter-killer operations. Destroyer escort war diaries, sonar operator logs, and technical assessments provide detailed operational records. German documents captured after the war confirm the technology's decisive impact on submarine warfare capabilities. Contemporary naval historians recognize hunter-killer groups as the decisive innovation that ended German submarine dominance in the Atlantic. The weapons demonstrated that in modern naval warfare, technological superiority could overcome tactical experience and numerical advantage when the disparity became overwhelming. The 8 months from March to November 1943 proved a fundamental truth of industrial warfare. Victory belongs to those with superior detection technology and the industrial capacity to deploy it effectively. German submarine commanders discovered that combat experience meant nothing when opponents possessed technology that negated every tactical advantage, transforming hunters into hunted through acoustic signatures that flowed through water as inevitably as American victory flowed from technological innovation.